Welcome, everyone. First of all, I just want to thank you for taking your time and coming out today and learning a little bit more about your business, yourself, your way of doing things. That's really what we're here for, is to understand what we want in life. That's why I share doTERRA, is I really want to help others as well as help myself and my family, and ultimately have time freedom. And to me, it's a ability to do both. I can help people and I can gain time freedom through it. So that's why my wife and I have chosen to do doTERRA. So one thing I'd like to go over today is I spent the weekend over at a training, and it was a self-development training. It was very good training. It was independent of doTERRA, but a lot of it was very useful and very intensive, and I feel like I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't share some of the key points from the training. So the main thing that this training talked about was having a goal in mind and knowing what you want to achieve. And a key method in doing that is called a vision board. So I know some of you have heard of vision boards. I've heard of vision boards. I've used vision boards. I've had them in probably the last 15 years of my life. I've had a vision board one way or another. Have I put it into use? Not so much. I did once or twice in my life where I actively tried to use a vision board. One of the goals I had was to graduate from college. I dropped out in the early 2000s. I wasn't interested in college. I didn't have enough motivation to be there. I didn't know why I was going to school. I was doing like a lot of kids do, just go get your generals and then figure it out after that, see what you want to become. Didn't work for me. I mean, I did a couple years. My friends got married. I got married. I quit, went and found a sales job that made more money, and didn't have a reason to go back. Well, after being in my sales career for several years, I came to the realization that I wasn't exactly happy. I was doing work, helping people, but it wasn't very fulfilling. I enjoyed talking to people, but I didn't enjoy how it ended up. So I started feeling a need to go back to school and get a degree in social work. So I went back to school, but before I did that, I read Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles, and he talked highly about forecasting your goals and writing them down, putting them on a vision board, things like that. So I wrote down some goals, and my main goal was to get my degree. I put down what I wanted to get it done and how soon I wanted it to be done, and I wrote it all in past tense, which was an important key to Jack Canfield's method. Is if you can write it as if it's already happened, it's easier for your mind to do it. And then you can figure out the steps it takes. So for me to get back to school, I went back in the summer. I took just one class to see how it would be, because I've been out of school for so long. And it was a change. It was a massive change. It was completely out of my routine. I hadn't written papers in years. It was difficult to get back into it. But then, after one class, I said, okay, well, part of my goal is to get it done. I want to graduate, within a couple of years. So I need to move my class schedule up. So then I took 6 credits or 2 classes the next semester, and so on. That was hard. It was difficult. But then it started to become routine and normal, and school wasn't as hard after a little while. And then I was able to take 12 credits while working and able to expedite my process in getting through school. And I kept focusing on that goal. I kept telling myself, I can do this. And I kept thinking about it. I kept pushing. During that time, too, I had another thing on my vision board, was to return to Brazil. That's where I served a 2-year LDS mission. I've been wanting to go back there since 1999, when I first arrived there and came home in 2001. So I've wanted to go back since 2001, and it's been a long-term goal of mine to have. And I put a bracelet on my arm that said Brazil, and I said, I'm going to get back there for the World Cup. I'm going to get back for the World Cup. And I kept that on me for, I want to say, 6-7 years. And then the World Cup came and went, and it didn't work. I was frustrated. I had this bracelet. I had it in my vision board. Why didn't it happen? So frustration set in. And in reality, I wanted it. I told people I wanted it, but I hadn't put in the work and the time, effort needed. Had I really put this on my vision board and focused on it daily, I probably would have been saving a little extra money. I probably would have put a couple $100 aside a month for 5-10 years to get it. But I missed that step. However, there is a silver lining. Just this last week, I was gifted 2 tickets to Brazil from a very special person in my life, and they knew of my desire and my vision to go. I did want to go for the World Cup, but I'm not going to complain. It's really about Brazil. I wanted to go back. I love the people there. I love the environment, and that vision has come true. So it didn't come in the time frame I wanted it, but it sure did come, and I did keep that going, and it has come, and it's going to come true for me. So there is a way to do that faster and to make the vision board work for you in a much better way. So first thing to do is I recommend you put your vision board in your bedroom in a highly visible wall, somewhere you see it often, so you can't ignore it. Don't put it on your ceiling, because when you lay down, your brain changes, you get tired, you won't be able to focus on it as much. Carefully ponder and pray about the things you really need and want to have for your ideal life. And kind of an important part of that is, what do you want? Is it okay for you to have things? In my personal opinion, yes, it is okay, especially if you're living well and you are treating others right and doing things that your beliefs require you to do. It's up to you to decide what goes on that board, what you want, what you really need. Typically, you can figure it out pretty quick by asking yourself that question we talked about last week. Where does it hurt? What's hurting your life? What do you need more of? I know for me, I definitely need more time freedom. I value very highly my time and my time with my family, especially after traveling. I've traveled a lot for work, and it has made me realize even more deeply how much I value that time. So I challenge and I recommend that all of you look at what hurts in your life and start from there, as well as things that you want. Some of us have goals to skydive over the Grand Canyon or go swim in the Great Barrier Reef or whatever it is. It's good to have those goals, because then you're open to getting them instead of just saying someday, someday, someday. You're going to put it on that board. You're going to start to see ways of that happening. See, our brain has this natural ability to block out 99% of everything that happens during our day. And it does that and essentially to protect us, because there's so much going on. There's so much sensory things going on all the time. I mean, if you're just quiet for 10 seconds, you're going to hear things you don't normally hear, like a fly flying by, or a ding in the background, or a water heater or something. Your brain automatically filters that stuff out. So you can choose what gets in and out of that filter. I mean, obviously, if you've been telling yourself for years that you don't deserve good things, or you can't have nice things, or you can't have a new car, or you can't go on that vacation, your brain is going to filter out anything that would help you get it, because you're telling it that you don't want it. It's automatic, goes on autopilot. That brain is very well built to filter things. So the challenge of a vision board, and further on we're going to talk about declarations as well, is to flip the switch and start letting things back in. I don't know if anyone's ever wanted to buy a new car, and I really like this car. I mean, a while back, I really wanted to get a Honda, and not just any Honda. I wanted a good gas mileage Honda. I wanted one of those electric ones that has like half electric, half gas, within my price range. And I'd never even noticed them before. And all of a sudden, that's all I could see when I was driving. I could see Hondas everywhere, and obviously there's tons of Hondas, but this specific kind of Honda with the ability to get it for the good gas mileage. I wanted 50 miles per gallon. That was a high priority for me, and I wanted the car under $10,000. And lo and behold, I've seen them everywhere. And then I end up to go buy some chickens from this lady down in Spanish Fork, Utah, and in her garage is a like new Honda, right in my price range, exactly what I wanted, perfect. And like, wow, well, I came to buy chickens. I bought a chicken and I bought a car. So I got both. But that was part of me letting that in my mind. I let the price point into my mind. I let what I needed, the mileage, everything. It was almost identical to what I've been thinking of, and it was perfect. So training ourselves to let that in. So here's some ways to do that. First of all, decide what you want, and then you place 9 of these items on your board. And we only do 9 because we want to focus. We don't want to be too scattered on what you want. So you place these 9 things on your board. You can put pictures, you can put descriptions. Go ahead and have fun with it. You can write specifics. I'm going to have this by 2016. I'm going to have this by winter. I'm going to get this done. So you put that on the board. Uh, for one of mine is I want to make 4K a month residual. Now I really want to make like 10K a month and beyond, but I want to be realistic and stretch myself. I want to get to a obtainable goal first. I'll collect that goal. I'll be grateful for that goal. I'll receive it and be very grateful that it happened to me and accept what I was able to get, which is an important part of this. Then I'm going to take that, I'm going to take it off my board, I'm going to put it in a binder, and I'm going to write some notes about it with my gratitude. And then I'm going to stretch it and go to the next level. So for me, it'd probably be 6,000 a month residual at that point. So you need to verbalize this. As you verbalize it, you're putting it out there. You're letting it go. You're letting it into the universe. This is the things I want. Put a little emotion to it, a little bit of tone. Don't be afraid to let it out. Let those feelings out, and you're gonna feel resistance. And the resistance is good. The negative thoughts coming in, that's actually a good thing. That's telling you that you found a wall. You found this illusion, this barrier that's saying, hey, you can't get here. You can't go there. But when you come to a barrier, it's just something to conquer, something to go over. It's just another obstacle. It's not a dead stop. So you fight that emotion, you push it, and you can be repetitive and kind of force that negativity out. And there's a couple ways we'll talk about how to do that. So then a key strategy is you verbalize this, you meditate on the board. So you spend some time daily. 15 minutes is probably the minimum for this to work effectively. And you're going to spend 80% of your time focusing on that number one thing that's popping out to you. You'll know what it is when you start to see it. The number one thing is popping out to you and keeps drawing your attention. Most of your time is going to be on that because that's where your heavy focus is. The 20% of your time will be on the rest, and those other things will start to come. So listen to the ideas that come, write them down, and put them into an action plan. So like the Jack Canfield method where he talks about writing the goal as it's happened. So if you find out, for example, my college plan was I need to graduate by 2010, and that meant I had to have 40 credits in within 2 years. So I wrote it down. By this date, I took 12 credits and passed my classes. And then I put the next date. By this date, I took 12 more credits, and I passed my classes. And I graduated on this day. And by doing that method, I actually graduated within a month or two of what I had written down when I wrote down my goals, which was a stretch for me. Trust me, guys. I was not the best student. I had fallen way behind on where I was, but I did do much better this time around in college than I did the first time around. So allowing yourself to put that into an action plan. So you start to see these ideas come in your mind, put them in an action plan, and start achieving those goals. So you take those ideas to a higher power. This is going to supercharge your life. Whether you believe in God or believe in Buddha or believe in some higher power, choose to believe in something because it's going to help you. It's going to help pull you in a forward-moving direction. So a strong piece in this, now this is a very important piece, as you come up with your goals, as you come up with what you want, if you're taking this to a higher power, it needs to be equal to what you're asking. So if I'm asking for, let's just say I'm asking for $10 extra a week, that may be a small amount for me. I mean, maybe a small amount for some, a large amount for some, but let's just say that's a small amount. That's most likely going to require a small amount of my own personal work. So maybe that means I need to work an extra half hour on a project. And if I need the spiritual strength to do that, I pray for the spiritual strength to work an extra half hour. And if I work an extra half hour, as well as, let's just say I say my morning prayers every day that week. And if I feel a good feeling about it, that's enough, that's a confirmation to me that will be enough to get me that extra $10 a week, then I go ahead and do it. And I keep my end of the deal. And what will happen is it will happen. It'll come true. However, if I want something bigger, if I want like an extra, let's say an extra $1,000 a week, and to me that's a big deal. I mean, it may not be to some other people, but that's going to require more from me. That may require some more time. Maybe that's going to require several hours, let's say 10 extra hours a week. And it's going to require a spiritual sacrifice too of reading scriptures with my family and reading scriptures with myself and praying morning and night every day without missing. And then let's just say even that may not be enough. Maybe I need to do one fast a month, and maybe I need to go to my temple once a month. And I take that before my maker and I say, hey, does this satisfy your needs to help me get this goal? If I feel a confirmation, I feel strongly about that, he may say yes, or he may say, I may feel I need to do a little bit more, and then I can add more to make that an equal blessing. So if I want something to come quicker, or if I need something, I'm going to have to put in the work physically and spiritually to make that come faster. However, if I say I'm going to do it, I get the feeling I'm going to do it, and I promise this to above, and then I don't do it, I'm more likely going to fall back, and I may end up blaming instead. And in reality, that's on me. That's something that I need to commit to. So that's just one way of looking at the vision board, to supercharge it. You can keep it on there like I did with Brazil, and I wore that bracelet for 6-7 years or more, and I had it out there in the universe. I told people about it, which eventually brought it back around to me. Someone dear to me knew that was a dream of mine, and when they came into some money, they were willing to give that to me, which was amazing. I'm very excited and happy about that. However, I know I could have done it sooner had I been able to make that promise and work extra hard and get the things done that need to be done. So for vision board, I challenge everyone to build one. Just do it. Get it done. And take these steps. To commit 15 minutes a day to it. Commit your time. Commit some prayer to it, to your higher power. And what do you have to gain? I mean, what do you stand to gain? There's so much there. And then after you achieve something, put it in your binder. Go ahead and write a little story about it, how grateful you felt when it happened, what date it happened, some of the steps you took to get there, as well as anything that you don't have room for on the board, you can put in the binder as well and start putting things up there as they come to you. So the guy who shared this with me, he has his own hashtag Vision Board Success. He asked anyone who has a good story to go ahead and put some pictures up and share it. Share it with the world, get it out there. So moving on, past vision boards. Declarations. Now we make declarations all day long. We make them to ourselves constantly. When we do something good or we do something bad, we say something in our mind to ourselves. Whether that's good or bad, we make declarations. However, neuroscience is showing and is discovering that we're literally creating new pathways in our brain all the time. We're rewriting the way our brain works and thinks, and we can make that good or bad. So many of us think a lot of negative thoughts. Well, we write more negative connections in our brain. We can rewrite those connections. We can tear them down and build them up. Very strong negative patterns take strong positive patterns. Strong addictions take strong positive patterns to break. They take time and energy and a lot of sacrifice, to be honest. So one method this has done is, for example, a statement I admit to saying, okay, this is one that comes to me, is I'm a bad father. I don't really believe I'm a bad father, but that statement does come. It does come. So a way to flip that is you flip it around, I'm a great father, and you add an attribute about your body. You might ask, why do we add an attribute about our body? Well, our body is connected to our soul and it's connected to our mind. And there's a great distancing when we say negative things. We try to push our body apart from our mind, try to split the two instead of being connected. So the adversary, he will want you to hate your body. And if you hate your body, you're not connected to your spirit. And you fall away from your goals and away from your creator or your higher power. So attaching with your positive declaration a piece about your body forces your mind and your body to connect. And it can be hard, it can, but it can also be very powerful. So an example is you take a paper, you write a line down the middle, write all the negative thoughts you're thinking about yourself on the left. As they come in, just start with 10 for now. Rewrite a positive flip or an inverse of the negative on the other side, and then fold under the negative so you don't see it anymore. And then repeat to yourself loudly the positive affirmations or declarations. And then raise your voice and do it again. And raise your arms up a little bit. And then on the third one, repeat it very loud and raise your arms above your head as high as you can reach. Now, if you're willing to do this in front of a mirror, you'll see yourself change as you raise your arms. Pulling your arms up away from the center of your body forces your body to release that tension, because people tend to hold in negativity. They suck their arms in, their stomach in when they say negative thoughts, and it literally sits in your gut. And as you say negative things, you can feel yourself hunching over because there's that pull internally. So as you say positive things, you're going to stretch. You're going to pull those negative out. So you're going to lift your arms up, and you're stretching the middle of your body away and not allowing the negative to take hold. So you're ripping those roots out, and you're stretching them above, and you hold it. We did this at this training, guys, in front of 800 people, yelling and screaming, and it was liberating. It was very scary. It was very scary for me, but it was liberating. I felt so much relief after, and I've been doing it in the mirror since, twice a day. It's not a huge sacrifice, and I feel a little awkward at first, but there's a liberating feeling, and there's a feeling of energy that comes up through you as you reconnect to those positive thoughts. So, and if you can't think of positive thoughts about your body, well, just believe in them. Talk about your spleen or your stomach or something until now. You're declaring what you want. It may not exactly be how you feel, which is okay. And eventually that will start to shift to how you feel. So another thing to do with this is you take two journals. You get a black journal and a colorful journal. Black journal is going to be your negative, dark thoughts place. And you're going to write down all your negative thoughts in there. And then you're going to write down the date that you had that negative thought. And then you're going to write a positive inverse in your happy colored binder, a multicolored binder, just a colorful binder, and your inverse of that plus the body statement to go with it. And then as you grow, you'll have this as proof that you were once super negative in some areas of your life. And when you have children, or your children come up to you, or people you're mentoring, or people in your life say, "Oh, I really feel horrible. I'm such a terrible father," and they see you and they talk to you and they're like, "Oh, you're such a good guy. You don't know what I'm talking about. There's no way you understand how I'm feeling." You can pull out your book and show them, "Hey, on 2015 May whatever, I told myself I was a terrible father, and this is how I felt." Like, really? Yeah, really. And it allows you to connect at a deep level with somebody, and it helps remind you that how far you've come as well. So keep both journals, save it for your posterity, for your own private use, for people that are really close to you in your life. So here's another powerful piece: affirmations. These create positive energy in your life. They create happiness. They create abundance. They bring things towards you instead of pushing away. The training had their top ones right here, and I'll read them to you. I add value to other people's lives. My life improves as I lead others. I'm grateful and a powerful listener. I am a great and powerful listener. I'm confident and charismatic. I am a generous giver and an excellent receiver. I influence others to find their own truth. And this last one is mine. It's one I've created. You're welcome to use it or your own iteration. I increase in health, happiness, and prosperity as I seek to inspire others to do the same. Now, when I'm having a negative thought and I say these affirmations, or mine specifically, the negative thought can't stay with me while I'm saying them. As I continue to repeat them, the negative thought dispenses. It's a form of meditation. It's called mindfulness in itself. It is the act of choosing to think about something instead of trying not to think about something. When you try not to think about something, your mind becomes flooded. But when you choose to think about something, especially something of a positive nature, your mind focuses and directs on the positive. So I challenge you guys to come up with your own affirmation. I've put mine in an app on my phone, or I have a picture, my affirmation. I have all my goals all on my phone. I look at it daily. I take several minutes a day to just thumb through them and focus on them and feel them in my life. So as you read these, read them to yourself at least 3 times a day with more energy, more fervor, more tone, more emotion. Think of it like you're on Braveheart, giving yourself a Braveheart speech. Let it out. Let that energy flow through you. So this is just part 1 of the training. I'm going to go over more of this next week, some of the other great thoughts we had to learn. But like we've said before, creating your own world, creating your own dreams, it starts with you. It starts with your own self-development. So I challenge you guys not to take these lightly. I spent 3 days and my time, 8 hours a day, driving to Salt Lake to learn these, and I've known many of them, but they were a great refresher, and they can help you as well. So moving on to the training piece of doTERRA this week. I want to talk about the doTERRA iron of email marketing. As we talked about in our last training, there's many irons that we have in the fire to help grow our doTERRA business. This particular iron that we are going to talk about today is how to set up an effective email marketing plan. First step you want to do is be willing to commit to 4 times a month. Now, a newsletter, from a general simple newsletter to creating tips to implementing articles from your website, that can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour per newsletter just to put it together. So that's 4 hours a month minimum you're required that you need to make this iron effective. Now, there's definitely some setup time that goes into this. Extra emails are advised. So if someone just signs up, to keep them interested, it's good to give them a few extra front-loaded emails. And then if they're really not interested, they'll unsubscribe, and that's okay because they weren't a good fit anyway. Usually during the first month, you're going to give them a lot of extra emails, and then it's going to phase off into just the standard once-a-week email, the newsletter. This is a great book, Email Marketing Doesn't Suck. I provided a free audio copy for you guys to listen to. I'll send a link out to that on the follow-up email. And what is the purpose of email marketing? It's really to create a relationship with lots of people at once. The idea of supporting thousands of people all by yourself, one-on-one, is just overwhelming and impossible. Part of our duplication with doTERRA to make it effective is being able to reach lots and lots of people and do it without having to go crazy. So a common and strong method of creating these emails is to write them from your story. What is your hurt and why are you writing about it? And there's many people out there that have similar hurts to you. You can figure out that and write about that and connect with people like you. You're going to be drawing people towards you. A lot less chasing, because people will find you, they'll relate with you, they'll like what you're putting out there, they're going to want to be part of your newsletter and want to be part of your system. So then after that, you're going to create some of the basic setup emails. First one you're going to be is a welcome email. That welcome email is going to go out right after someone signs up or right after you put their name in the list. It'll automatically send them an email. It says, thank you for signing up to my email. This is why you signed up. Please do a few steps. And you want them to do a few different steps to make sure that they stay in your email system and they're not just going to the spam folder. So one way is to say, hey, please reply to this email with a question. If you got this, please add me to your no junk folder. Add me to your contact list and whatever your email address is. So for mine, it's staff@healingwithaurora.com or jared@healingwithaurora.com or nicole@healingwithaurora.com. One of those three, depending on the email newsletter, add that to their contact list, and then they don't go to spam folder automatically anyway. So if you get some sort of reaction back from them in that initial email, it usually keeps them out of the junk mail. You can even include, please move me to your primary folder if you have Gmail, because Gmail auto sorts now and throws people in basically a newsletter junk mail. They have all kinds of junk mail set up now, so they're trying to filter it out. So after that, you're going to set up some tailor-made emails. This is the front-loader work. That book that I told you about, how to write email marketing that doesn't suck, they write like 20-something different emails for their first prospects and send one every day when they first load them up, which to me feels very overwhelming. I'd probably unsubscribe after day 3. However, if you're putting out killer content and they're just one paragraph, simple tips, you may attach to the right kind of people. So that's up for your discretion how you feel about it. I'd say a minimum of 5 fresh emails up to 20 would be a sufficient amount. And then be prepared to write a weekly newsletter. There's a couple ways to do this. You can cheat the system a little bit. You can just kind of take snippets from your current articles on your website and do it as like an update email. You can do a quick video or a quick tip, something catchy, and first person personal is a very strong one, and stay with it. Whatever way you go, if it's first person or third person or going to more of a business type email, just stay with one style and stick with it. And because you're trying to connect, you don't want to confuse your connections. Oh, I thought this person was this way. Now they're kind of talking weird, or they're salesy or pitchy. And the point of these aren't to sell. I mean, the future of marketing and good marketing is when people don't feel like they're being marketed to. So, like we said, we're trying to create a valued content with good relation, won't feel so marketing. So, gather emails via your lists. There's different ways to do that. You can get them through List brokers, that's one way. I have not explored it very much because it's almost a guarantee you're going to end up in spam folder unless you figure out how to get their attention from the first second. But it's a very high likelihood you'll end up in a lot of spam folders. The best and most effective way is to grow an organic list through creating content on the web, through your own blog or website, and then asking people to join your newsletter through like a free offer. Like people give away like something as simple as a 10-page PDF, what they call a book. Hey, get our free ebook on surviving the end of the world. If you're trying to, attach to people who are trying to survive the end of the world. So it's something it's basically just a couple articles put together and thrown in a PDF, call it a book. So they sign up for your newsletter, and that first email that goes to them gives them a link. When they hit the link, they get the email, and they get the download of the book, and then it also confirms them off of the junk folder. So it's a very strong way to link people in. The second way, which is a very quick way to grow if you're looking to do this quicker, is through ad contests. We talked a little about how to do that before, where you create a Google form and then you direct an ad to that Google form or landing page. I say or because you don't necessarily have to have a landing page, because Google Forms can be free floating. You don't have to be attached to anything. I do like a landing page. It's a little bit nicer and more professional. However, time, money, we understand that. If you're looking to just get one of these up in a half hour, create a Google form, create a quick ad on Facebook, and make it happen. And you could do that within 30 minutes. And you can start collecting emails right away. I'd estimate that you get around 500 new emails for about every $200 you spend, just based on my own experience. So if you wanted to gather 500 emails to start marketing to right now, plan for about $200 and about 30 minutes of your time to get it started. So, and I can walk through that with anyone who needs help. Just send me an email. We can help you get that going. And then you can also kind of filter. You can ask one of those filter questions we talked about before. So website and social media is where you're going to get your other type of list. Anywhere that someone's reading your stuff, you want to have a pop-up or a sidebar that says join our email with the content offer. What you need for that is the API key from your MailChimp. I'm going to go over that in next week's training, start to finish. And if you're one that wants to jump the gun and get it early, just send me an email. I'll help you get that. Kind of going down there to look at that. Just a little bit of preview for next week. So you create a free account with MailChimp. Do that in the meantime. Start writing your emails. I don't recommend you write them all in MailChimp yet, because when you go to set up the automated email where people get a sequence of emails, that's actually a paid account. Pay as you go or a monthly subscriber fee of about $9 a month. So you can go ahead and write, just open up Word and write 5 to 10 emails now. And then as soon as you start getting your lists ready, go throw them in your MailChimp account. Go set them up right then, because you're just going to cut and paste into a template on MailChimp. And then you're not wasting money in the meantime. So when you're ready, when you got some of those articles ready and you got your list being built, you got your names coming in, that's when you go pay for your account. It's $10 a month for the basic. And then you start loading. You need your API code and the list ID. I can show you how to do that later as well. So I always keep that handy. I save that in a separate file because I find I have to use it frequently. So after you collected your list, you can sort them, because when you use a Google form, it puts it in a spreadsheet. And if you put a qualifier in there, like I put on mine, are you already a doTERRA rep, yes or no? If they selected yes, I can sort out all the ones that said yes in Excel, or all the ones that said no with a filter. So I'll take my Google spreadsheet list and I'll export it to Excel, use a filter to see all the no's, and then I can upload all those no's at once into my list on MailChimp that is specifically designed for people who are not enrolled in doTERRA. And then I'll take all the ones that said yes and throw them in my general newsletter, because who knows, I want them too, because maybe they'll go 6 months without making an LRP and they love me, and they're, so-and-so enrolled me, I don't know where they are, they contact me. So keeping an open mind, open hands towards both groups is wise, but I definitely put most of my energy into the non-enrolled newsletter. So, and like I said, this will be the focus of our next training. So don't get too worried about it. It's a jump ahead anyway. More importantly is to start writing articles for your email. And if you're not sure what to do, listen to that book I told you about, and even sign up for a couple newsletters from people you like in the community, like Wellness Mama or whoever else, and you can copy their first couple of emails that come to you and tailor make them for your style. And you'll see that there's a ton of really good already template stuff. You don't have to create this stuff from scratch. So that's going to conclude this week's training. I appreciate you guys' time. I hope it was worth it for you. I know that sometimes this is a sacrifice to get out here, especially on a Tuesday at lunch. And if you didn't make it for lunch today, I hope you make the time to watch this during the week and make the choice to grow yourself as a person, as a husband, as a wife, as a parent, as a neighbor, any way you want, as a business owner, and grow yourself and make yourself into the dream, or make your dreams come true by you putting the effort into it. Thank you guys once again. Have a wonderful day.